To give students the best opportunity to succeed, educators must alter their academic and social expectations to suit the skills and needs of each individual. For Miss Clark, her journey begins at her first teaching block. Given a Year 2 class at Illawarra Public School, Miss Clark was excited to start the school year and further develop her teaching practice. Upon Miss Clark's arrival, she was quickly informed that a large majority of her class came from low socioeconomic areas. Her colleagues described her class as being a handful, as they had a tendency to misbehave and go off task. Miss Clark was immediately feeling overwhelmed, as the other teachers described negative experiences they had encountered with some of the students. One student in particular, Ben, was mentioned by a number of teachers. It seemed as though Ben had a reputation for not participating in lessons, being academically low in all key learning areas, and having random outbursts of frustration towards his work. Miss Clark was also informed that Ben's older brother Sam had recently been expelled from Illawarra Public School due to constant misbehaviour and breach of school rules. Unfortunately, most of the teachers feared that Ben was heading in the same direction as Sam and suggested this was the reason for his anger towards school and teachers. Despite Miss Clark acknowledging these characteristics would cause a strain on the whole class environment, she began to reflect on her own teaching philosophy and practice. Miss Clark was able to recognize the deficit discourses that would exist if this information was used to create a first impression on her students. Instead, Miss Clark saw the need for turnaround pedagogies to be implemented into her practice to best support her students. By doing so, Miss Clark was able to reflect on educational policy and her expectations as a teacher to get to know her students and create a supportive learning environment. Through this approach, Miss Clark designed a teaching program that would allow her to get to know each student while they got to know each other. This program allowed Miss Clark to look into each individual's virtual school bag to outline their prior school experiences, their family life, interests, skills, and cultural background. Through observation and several conversations with Ben, Miss Clark learned that Ben was very interested in the creative arts and would often draw in his free time. She also learned that due to his brother's recent expulsion, his parents had been focused on Sam's educational needs, and by doing so, they were unconsciously neglecting Ben's. By unpacking Ben's virtual school bag, Miss Clark is able to reflect on what Ben needs in order to succeed in the classroom while integrating his skills and interests to motivate him. By applying this approach to all students, Miss Clark will have to understand what each individual's virtual school bag is made up of and integrate these characteristics in the classroom. By doing so, Miss Clark will continue to build a greater understanding and rapport with her students to enhance their learning. Through this, Miss Clark is able to enhance her professional development by acknowledging the importance of her knowing her students and valuing this view within her teaching philosophy. By continuously looking beyond those deficit discourses and acknowledging the range of virtual school bags that exist in the classroom, Miss Clark is able to individualize her instruction and create a supportive learning environment that is relevant to each student.